So your energy manifests on the rainbow road, and it takes this shape of like if you can think of like a spilled can of paint, but it's this like golden pool of paint. But it's really interesting. It took me a while to get what it was trying to convey, but it's like, so the rainbow road is flat, and then I see this, your energy comes as this like golden dust, and then it basically settles on the rainbow road, and it's as if it's like a splatter of paint, but it's like solid gold liquid. And it's really interesting because underneath the rainbow road, like I see the rainbow road very like two-dimensionally, and like underneath it I can see this like big kind of drip, that's it's almost like the state of Florida, like that kind of how Florida has that handlebar at the very end. It's almost like that's what's coming out from underneath the rainbow road, and it's all golden. It's all this golden kind of pool of light. And so I'm trying to figure out what this is, and the only thing that is coming up to me is when I do my meditations, there's this one point where there's a golden pool of light, and it's basically considered like the Godhead energy, and it's how we all are basically God living on earth, but we are a unique representation, like a individual spark of God, and we only know ourselves because we kind of get the reflections of ourselves through other people and seeing kind of like God and God reflected in us. And it's this whole like pool of light meditation that I do. And so this is the only thing that's kind of coming up is a golden pool of light, but I'm wondering why it's kind of splattered out on the rainbow road like this. And so and it's not moving. So finally, the golden light, the end of the rainbow road kind of comes up and makes like a wall, and that's right where the pool of light is. And so it's this wall, and this golden pool of light is almost like a golden mirror on the wall, and that extension that I called Florida, like that goes out, protruding out through the back of the rainbow road, is now this like anchoring point into like what's the wall. And so I see now you as a physical form, like a female body, standing up, looking into this pool of light. And so now I'm really getting a connection that this is kind of connected to what I consider the golden pool of light from the Godhead energy, because I see you looking at yourself in this mirror, and your reflection, you're getting your reflection back, but it's like this golden reflection of you. And I see you pulling on your face, like just slowly kind of pulling down the skin on your face in different areas. And you're like touching and questioning, and you're like, what do you keep saying? Something like, how can this be God, or how can this be, and you're like pulling on your face, and you're really questioning yourself. And I'm getting this deep like self-questioning, and it's like you keep just pulling in different angles on your face and asking this question over and over. And so from here, you turn around, and I see like this elf hat and long kind of tails off the hat with bells on the bottom, and I see these pointy elf shoes, and I see you kind of really in a very melancholy mood, and you go walking, and like all the bells are kind of dinging, and you sit down on this stump, and your hands are kind of under your chin, and you're just sitting there kind of sad and almost exiled. And so I never saw this movie as a kid. I've only seen it since I've had kids, and so I don't even know. I think it was maybe in Rudolph. What's that elf that does the I'm such a misfit, whatever that song is, and he wants to be a dentist. So that's what's coming to me. And the main point of it is I'm getting the song over and over, and I actually kept hearing the version of the song in my head till the very end of your reading, the misfit song, and it just kept saying that line over and over, the like, I'm just a misfit, something, da-da-da-da. I don't know. I was just keep getting those like two lines over and over in my head. And so I'm now kind of piecing the two first symbolic messages together. And there's like a deep questioning of self, and almost like I get this like a deep sense of not fitting in. And so I'm thinking I kind of know where this is going. So I asked for the title of your reading, and it's Questions Answered, the title of your reading. And so basically from here, I see you now moving, and I see you take the shape of a beautiful female figure again, and you're in like gloves and a scarf and a kind of hat, and you're moving through like what seems like a Christmas tree landscape. There's snow on the ground, and it's like a beautiful day, like the sky is blue, it's probably crisp weather, and you're kind of moving in and out, kind of dancing amongst these like Christmas trees that are all kind of in a row but have lots of space between, and you decide to lay down on your back and look up into the sky. And so it just freezes here for probably 5 minutes of this reading. I'm just frozen watching you on your back stare at the sky and the blue sky. And so, and as I'm putting myself in this energy in this situation, I'm getting immense energy that's transferred through seeing you just connect into the sky. And so finally at the end of this, I actually see you astral project, which is like the spirit of your body, or this, the spiritual part of your body leaves the body, and it's a very playful way to kind of move through the fifth dimension, like so you can go through kind of all time space, whatever you think, that's where you can go, type of a thing. And so it's now I'm really getting connected into, I think, what the message here is, and I feel this very so there's this deep sense of not being connected to the human form. And that's what I'm getting, because when I see you in the golden mirror of light, this is like how we perceive ourselves, or how we should see ourselves, as expressions of God living out a human existence. And that's always reflected back to us through our experiences and moving throughout the world. But then you're questioning it, and like, how can this be? How can I be this reflection? And then it's this whole like misfit, like you don't fit, and it's this deep kind of sense of sorrow and almost melancholy, that it's almost this like, I don't fit. And now I'm seeing you basically connect into a space that is very pure, which is you staring up into the heavens, into the blue sky, and I'm getting just this complete connection and flow of energy, and you leave your body and go into the fifth dimension. So this to me is showing somebody who is very connected to their origins as spirit and is almost unsatisfied living a human experience. And so that's what I'm getting. And this is a very common thing with people, where it's almost like there's this deep sense of not belonging. And this goes way further than like family history. This goes so much further than, this goes to the core of being a human, being in a human form, and knowing that there's so much more of you, for you, having so we're considered all angels here in the Human Academy, right? So we're all really angels living out a human experience, going through like human school, so we can recognize ourselves more as the angelic spiritual beings we are. And so I get that you have this strong tie to the spiritual dimension, and living life as a human, kind of trapped within the constraints of being human, is unsatisfying in a way. So from here, you turn around, you get up, you turn around, and you go through the portal, or the wooden kind of door frame, which represents the moving on to the next part of this journey. And so when you move, you go up to this wooden door frame, and you actually paint it gold. And so I'm going, okay, here we go. So you're turning. There's a very biblical kind of feeling to this. What is it? The Holy Grail. I don't know. I'm like kind of pulled to this Holy Grail, whatever. But seeing you paint the wooden door frame gold instantly to me goes, okay, we're going divine. When we go through the portal, I just get this sense of kind of moving like through the pearly gates type of a thing. So when you go through the portal, you actually shoot right up into the stars, and you're almost in this like spacecraft. And so this is very easily connection, if I'm right on in the very beginning kind of symbology interpretation. So we're going through, and I see you kind of riding in a spaceship and going up to the stars. And And so what I described earlier would be a condition of like a star seed. They call people here on earth like who are higher frequency, high vibrational, like star seeds or light workers, people who know their roots and are very connected into their spiritual existence, and like higher frequency, higher resonance with that type of a knowing. And so I see you go up into the stars, and I basically see you get out of like the spaceship that's taking you to the stars, and I see you open what's a clear vessel of like a traditional star outline, and you fill your essence into this like clear vessel, and you become this starlight, and you're like shining as a star. And I get this just connection, this like home, this belonging. I just get this immediate like, this is where you're supposed to be. And so now it's just, I think, validating for me anyways, the interpretation of the earlier symbols. And so now I see you kind of returning to home, and I see you as a starseed, as a light worker, as somebody who is here, higher frequency and maybe unknowing. And that's why I'm getting this kind of melancholy feel throughout the beginning. Maybe you don't know that this is how I've explained it, that that there's maybe this really deep, God, what's even the word that I'm looking for? Urge to have that belonging, or there's something, it's almost like something's missing. That's the best and easiest way to put it. Like, I feel like maybe in your life, if we were to talk, you might confirm that, yeah, it just feels like something's missing from me. Like, you don't know what it is, you couldn't place it, but something just does not, I just don't know. So there's a puzzle piece that is missing in me. And so that's what I'm getting, is this start knowing that you are divine here on earth. You are divine being, divine spiritual being. Like, that is what's missing. And so it's knowing that you're here, and knowing that this is the time to play and live out the human experience, and to live and love and learn, and knowing that you're that divine being, and be able to connect that. So then what happens is the star basically comes down to earth, and it lands on the ground, which is root chakra, which is actually bringing like heaven to earth, which is what I just explained. And so what I'm getting is just a recommendation. So every single morning you wake up, I would love it if, like, when you kick your legs over the side of the bed and you step your feet on the ground for the first time, if you would almost envision under your feet like a star symbol. And this is just for you connecting the heaven to earth kind of connection, and bringing that component of your spirituality that you're maybe missing or seeking down into the physical world. And every morning you step down and just pretend that you're stepping down onto that star. It's going to align you more fully into that pillar of, or that kind of conduit of energy that brings down that more divine alignment that makes you feel more whole. And so from here you turn around, and I see what looks like a big prison, like a really old school prison. I see like the bars on the windows, and you're walking up, and now I see you in an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed behind your back, ball like around your ankles, and you're walking up the stairs into like your Akashic records. And so as you move in, everything's on lockdown. All the books are like behind bars, and you get taken to solitary confinement. And so what I'm getting from this is that this is, so again, we're piecing all the puzzles of the story up into here, that this is, like, this is your divine wisdom. So your Akashic records basically hold the wisdom of all of your lifetimes, all of your soul's existence, and that's the wisdom that you can tap into and that everybody has access to. And so yours is actually on lockdown, and I get that it's on lockdown because of you. And so because you're going to solitary confinement, like, I get that your mental capacity to see this existence and this complete soul journey and existence, like all of your lifetimes, is on lockdown. And so what I call down your higher self at this point, and I ask, what's, number one, why is this all on lockdown? And basically I'm told that it's a creation by you in your own mind. And then I ask, what's for the greatest good for you to know at this moment in time? And they say that there's it's almost that there's this struggle in your mind where I would get that you're somebody who is probably very clairvoyant. Like if I were to sit here and say, okay, envision a Christmas tree, envision a pie, envision a candle with a light flickering, bring to your mind's eye a star, just try and see all of these things. Like I bet you are somebody who could probably see all of those pictures instantly. As soon as I say it, like envision a heart. Now envision a heart pumping. Now envision a heart with a glowing orb around it. Like you are somebody who just in your eyes, I think you could see all of those things immediately. And as you see them, it probably goes by your eyes like a movie reel, like almost like those pictures come in and come out. And I bet that you could even see them in a very animated way, which to me would mean you're extremely clairvoyant and you don't know it. You're probably getting the sense that you don't know how powerful you are. And that you probably had this at a very young age and you didn't know what to make of it. And like the questions from the very beginning, I get that you're possibly questioning your existence in a sense. Like, what am I, like, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? Like on a deep level, like who am I really? Like, what am I going to leave behind in this world? Like those kind of questions. And anybody who has or asks those questions is on a path of like a self-actualizing journey. Like you are questioning your consciousness, which is exactly what a starseed, a light worker, a spiritual being would do in their life. They would begin to question their consciousness, and that opens up kind of the divine path. But what I'm seeing and what your higher self was saying is that you've chosen to kind of lock down. Like I feel like you question those things, and then when you start to get the answers, or when you're almost being guided, it's almost like you shut it down. Like your left brain comes in and starts to rationalize things. And I get that your prison of your Akashic records is your left brain rationalizing way too much of your life away. Like I would maybe assume you're somebody who has a lot of synchronistic things happen in life, but you can explain them all away. And so I'm getting that there's this kind of duality between like you're so wanting, or you're missing that connection of that spiritual knowing that you're a spiritual being here living a human existence, and there's that piece of you that feels like it's missing, and you've actually questioned all of this. But then when you start to get the answers, or when you're starting to be divinely guided, and you're very clairvoyant, so this is probably very easy for you and things flow into your head very quickly, it's almost like you rationalize it away, and you rationalize it in a human sense. And so that's why there's this void that continues to grow within you, because you're letting that left brain kind of run too much of what's happening in the field around you. And so the title again was Questions Answered. So hopefully maybe this resonates true with you, and there is a part of you that has been questioning, and maybe you'll allow that to open up more to just kind of like what a human could explain away. So with light and love.